here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Hey, besties! Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. Today's show is all about staying safe this summer because between the pool parties and the beach trips, things can get real fast. So, are you ready to give CPR at a moment's notice? Well, we're gonna get you there, okay? We've got a refresher course, and we're also talking water safety for all ages because you are not too old to learn these tips, and neither are your kids. Like my son especially has stopped my heart a couple of times by jumping into water unannounced like he's Michael Phelps. One of those times he was fully clothed. So yes, I had to put him in some swimming lessons right away. Now he is doing amazingly well. Look at him there, giving me the good old thumbs up. He does keep stopping to do that, but he is doing great, and we are continuing those. Yeah, that's my little goldfish there. So here from Goldfish Swim School, Heights, and Sugarland, we've got Samantha Perry here to talk about swim safety, because it is important. I mean, people are going to be having fun, but we also want to make sure that they live through all of that fun. Yep. And one of the easiest things, or I will say one of the most important things people can do is kind of be preventative when it comes to swim safety.
So preventative care, obviously get into swim lessons. If you can get them in young, great. But get them in. It's the only activity that a kid can do that saves lives.
Good point.
I was like, you can't tell me any other activity out there.
Right. So how young are we talking?
So at Goldfish, we start at 4 months.
Wow.
The American Pediatrics, they will say start your kids at 1. So I was like, if you start them a little earlier, just helps them get comfortable and everything in that water. But I do not care what age you are. If you can just get in and take swim lessons, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and even if you're an adult who, if you come to terms with not knowing how to swim, it is not too late to get some lessons, okay? Get some professional help. How long does it usually take for kids to go from they don't know what they're doing in the water to like, okay, like you're good?
So every kid's gonna be different. It definitely, like when you start them out younger, they do learn a little bit faster. Just from experience, they're used to that culture and everything like that. They're like, oh, this is second nature. When they come in with a little bit more of a fear, a little bit older, sometimes we have to work through that fear before we can get to the actual swimming. But every kid's gonna be different. Some kids will get it in like 2 to 3 months. Some kids will get it takes a year or so. So it just really depends.
Okay, yeah, and good to know your kid as well and how they are around water. Now, unfortunately, around this time of year, we start hearing a lot of just devastating headlines about kids who have gotten into pools and did not survive. So another thing that you say people need to keep in mind is keeping protection around pools.
Yeah, so having protections, a way to make sure that your pool is safe, especially if you have a backyard pool. But even if we are going to go visit our friends or anything like that, knowing, telling your kids that like, hey, this person has a pool in their backyard, you do not go out there without a parent or somebody, and just making sure that your child and everybody understands the safety aspect of it, and like, and everybody's paying attention to it. So having those gates, having those fences, having alarms, any of those little things will really help.
Okay, so, and nowadays they have all kinds of different alarms and things. So you could have an alarm for the back door going to the pool. Yeah. And then also alarms for the gate.
Yeah, you can have your regular security alarm that just says back door open. You could have the gate themselves. You can have the nets now. There's alarms for the gates. There's now alarms for children to wear.
Oh, and really?
So yes.
Okay.
I was shocked by it.
Okay.
Supposedly it gets
new.
When it gets wet, it will sound of an alarm on the little box that you will have.
Oh,
and
okay.
it will let you know that like they got wet, something's happening, and it just alerts you to like, hey, maybe we should check that out.
Okay.
Especially when they weren't supposed to be swimming.
Yeah, been there.
Because that's what usually a lot of the drownings that you see, it's more, they weren't supposed to be swimming at that time. It was never, it's usually, I won't say never, but I was like, it's usually when you weren't expecting them to be in the water or being able to get to those type of things. So even in the bathtub, things of that nature, those are all areas to be concerned and just be aware of.
Yeah, I like the idea of them wearing something. I mean, you know, of course, don't depend fully on technology, but it is good to have a lot of options that you can layer in.
Kids are rambunctious.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You ain't got to tell me, sister.
Like, anything can help.
Yeah.
And so the more the merrier.
Yes. And so my son, he does like to do the floaties when we are at a party or pool. Where do you stand on the floaties? Because he's also, you know, doing these swim lessons. Yeah. Is it still okay for him to do the floaties when we're elsewhere?
Yeah, okay. I totally recommend it. I think that doing traditional swim lessons, amazing. With floaties in like deep water or like open water, any of that, it can only help. I know going out on a boat, I go and put on a life jacket because it's tiring.
Okay, even you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, swimming it's an activity. Like if I'm a little kid and I just swim, and kids they're terrible at telling you when they are tired.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like having that extra precaution of like, okay, yeah, I know they can swim, but like just having that little protection of like, okay, they got a little tired, now they can just float for a second.
Okay, you're a pro. If you need it, you can admit that. Then, the rest of us can admit that we can use some backup as well. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more life-saving tips for the summer. Welcome back. We are talking swim safety, and we need it for all ages. So Samantha Perry with Goldfish Swim School is here. All right, so we talked about, wearing floaties, wearing a life vest, and you were telling me during the break that it needs to be, when it comes to the life vests, they need to be certified. Yeah, so you would want either, in the United States, we would have a U.S. Coast Guard approved life vest. Those are going to be your best ones. In the inside of the life vest, it will say it's U.S. Coast Guard approved. Okay. That's what you're looking for, just right in the inside. Sometimes with those blow up floaties, they just fall off. If you don't blow them up enough, they lose air. So those aren't really what we're looking for, but those life vests that are U.S. Coast Guard approved are the best. Okay, excellent. When it comes to colors, this is something that I learned about not too long ago. Like there's a preference of wearing certain colors when it comes to the pool and the beach. Yes. So I highly recommend anybody to look it up, but a lot of the bright colors are good. Kind of stay away from those blue colors, just especially when you're in the pool, because a lot of pools are blue. Yes, very blue. And so a blue kind of blends in. But those darker colors, especially in the lakes and stuff, are really hard to see. So your bright oranges, your bright pinks, those neon colors are really good to have for both places, really. Okay. Just knowing that how a swimsuit can look different in different waters. Okay, great point. So it's not just like, oh, these are fun summer colors. It's actually a safety thing to think about. Okay, so get those bright colors. It'll make it easier to see them in case of an emergency, or also just to keep your eyes on the kids, especially. So you also say that somebody needs to be watching the kids. I mean, it sounds basic, but I always recommend come up with a system that works for y'all. I know at Goldfish we have water watcher necklaces, which basically is a lanyard that just says that you're going to be watching the kids right now in the water. Anything will work. I've seen people do bracelets or whatnot. You know who's watching and who's supposed to be doing it, and take breaks. Like if you've been the water watcher for 30 minutes,
have somebody else be the water watcher, just so like your fresh eyes and everything.
Yes. Oh, great point. Take turns.
Yes.
That'll take the load off, so one parent isn't feeling like they can't enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah.
You know, y'all can take turns and don't just depend on the lifeguard that might be on duty.
Yeah, I was like, lifeguards are great, and totally go to places where there are lifeguards. It's only an extra precaution, but the lifeguard's looking at 50 bodies sometimes.
Yeah. How does that end when the kids hit a certain age?
No, I know my mom to this day would probably still watch me.
Okay, I love it, Mom.
Yes. But I would say if they're able to stand and they're comfortable in the water and everything like that, then maybe we can move away from being so precautious with it. But if there any point, if there's a deep end, anything like that, totally have that person there, because an emergency can happen at any time.
Absolutely. Now, if an emergency does happen, like we have to have a plan in place, right?
Yes. So having an emergency action plan is very important. So having it from the get-go, if something happens, who's doing what, how it's going to be taken care of, where we need to meet, and then if you're not accounted for, okay, what are we doing next? Who do we need to talk to? Everything like that.
Yes, and then, because when that panic sets in too, if you're like, where'd they go? It's great to just know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And if you're hosting, especially any kind of event around water, these are great things to go ahead and have in place. Yeah. Okay, if there is like a drowning emergency, or it looks like somebody is drowning, what do we do in that situation?
Yeah, so if we're having like a backyard pool party, definitely if you have something to throw, and have them grab it and pull them off to the side to safety. I've seen people do pool noodles, stuff like that. That just protects yourself too, because if somebody's actively drowning, they're not thinking properly. They're trying to save their life. So they can sometimes overpower other people. That's why a lifeguard has their guard tube. Like it's for their protection too. So for you at home, making sure that you pull out. Now, granted, if it's a kid and you know that they're smaller than you, go ahead, grab them.
Jump in. That's natural instinct for me. I have done it, just jumping in. Yeah. Okay, got it. Well, thank you so much, Samantha. This has been super helpful. I know we're helping a lot of people this summer. Coming up, we're gonna talk about what to do in a near drowning emergency. We're taking you back to CPR class in just a couple minutes.
Come back to me.
Summer fun can get serious fast. So we are getting a CPR refresher course from the CPR lady herself. Gail Gold is back. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thank you for asking me.
You're a great instructor. I mean, I did pretty well last time,
you did
according
great.
to you. Okay.
You did great.
But you know,
great.
as things heat up, we're getting outside more and we're swimming more. So since we just talked about swimming, I want to know what to do if we do believe that someone is having like a near drowning emergency. How do are we worried about the water that could be in the lungs?
No, and so it's a little different when it's a drowning victim. So hopefully this would never happen, but if it does happen, you pull a near drowning victim out of the water, Chelsea, and you check and they're unresponsive and they're not breathing. You can actually start with 2 breaths.
Okay.
You give them 2 breaths, which I'm not going to put my mouth on this mannequin because I have lipstick all around my mouth. And after the 2 breaths and the chest rises and falls, then if they're under the age of 8, between the ages of 1 up to 8, you use one hand and you give them 30 chest compressions. So you can wrap the other hand around the wrist. You want to push about 2 inches. So you give 30 chest compressions. And then after 30 chest compressions, you come back and you give your 2 breaths. So it's
again.
a little different with drowning.
Okay.
Really, really, really important. You know, when you're swimming with kids under the age of 8, someone needs to be within arm's distance of them at all times.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if you do notice a near drowning situation, pull them out of the water, check to see if they're breathing. If they're not breathing, you can start with 2 breaths and then chest compressions. Everybody else, you start with chest compressions and then give 2 breaths.
Okay, so straight to the breast if
Yes.
we're talking about
Yes.
like a near drowning. Now, you have a woman this time,
Yes.
I noticed.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
mixing things up.
I always ask people what looks different about this mannequin, and you know, this mannequin is a female. She has breasts, and the reason I like this, I like to ask people, who do you think is more likely to receive CPR, a man or a woman?
I'm gonna say this guy. He just looks
Men, you're
easier
exactly
to deal
right.
with, I guess.
Men are 1.5 times more likely to receive CPR, and the reason is people are afraid of being accused of touching a woman inappropriately. So not only are men 1.5 times more likely to receive CPR, they are 1.5 times more likely to survive a sudden cardiac arrest.
Save me. Don't worry about these. Just save me, please.
And you know, I read a statistic yesterday. It's not just young children who drown. A lot of times it's teenagers.
And when you think that they're able to swim on their own and they're
Yes.
good. So let me ask you this. If we are doing CPR and then they start regurgitating water, what do we do then?
You roll them on their side.
Okay.
You do not want people lying on their back, Chelsea, while they're vomiting or regurgitating. Roll them on their side, and if there's vomit, maybe you can sweep it out of their mouth, then roll them back on over their back and start CPR again. But remember, you only give people CPR who are unresponsive and not breathing.
Okay.
Unresponsive and not breathing. Someone's breathing, they don't need CPR. If they're unresponsive and they're breathing normally, just roll them on their side into the recovery position. But
And then what are those signs again, just to make sure that they're unresponsive? If you don't see the
Well,
breathing, are there other things that we're looking for?
first thing you want to do is you try and wake them up. Like we call this shake and shout. Hey, wake up. Hey, can you hear me?
up. Come on.
If they can look at you, speak to you, that's good. If they cannot speak, they're moaning, groaning, kind of making unusual noises, then they're unresponsive. I'm going to say, Chelsea, go call 911, get the AD. Then you're just going to check for breathing for 5 to 10 seconds. No need to check the pulse. They're not breathing normally. They're not breathing at all. They are in cardiac arrest and they need CPR.
Okay, and then I see you also brought a little baby.
I brought my baby.
But hopefully we don't have an emergency with the baby.
Yes.
But if we do.
If you do, with the baby, if they look unresponsive, you tap the foot, trying to wake him up, and he's not responding. I'm going to say, Chelsea, go call 911 and get the AED, the automatic external defibrillator. I'm going to check his breathing for 5 to 10 seconds. If he's not breathing normally, not breathing at all. Now, with the baby, you're going to use the heel of your hand, and you're going to put the heel of your hand on the vertical axis of the sternum, and you're going to give 30 chest compressions. Just like you did for the child. And then on the baby, you tilt their head back and you blow over their nose and their mouth.
Okay, let me try the baby, because the challenge is that you don't want to be too hard.
No,
right?
you don't worry about it. If you don't do
worry
it hard
about it?
enough, it's not going to be effective. So you want to push 1 to 1.5 inches deep.
Okay.
So put your left hand right here and take his nose up to 12 o'clock, like on a clock. Don't pinch it, just put your hand and there you go. Okay, push.
And
30
then-
times. 1 to 1.5 inches deep. Do not worry about hurting the baby. Babies are sturdier than we give them credit for.
Oh yeah. Okay. So just go on to the
Yes.
30 and then do the breaths as
And then
well.
after 30, you blow over their mouth and their nose and you give 2 puffs of air.
Okay.
Almost like you're blowing out a candle.
Okay. I'm also not going to put my lipstick all over the baby. All right. And then also, how do we know if we need the AED?
You put the AED on everyone.
Oh,
Anyone
okay.
who's in cardiac arrest needs an AED placed on them. And the reason is the AED is looking for a cardiac arrhythmia. And if it finds one, if it detects one, it will shock the person.
All right. So look, show me again. This is our refresher course. We did this before, but I want to make sure we
Yes.
know how to use the AED.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the power button. Where'd my scissors go? They're somewhere over
Oh
there.
yeah,
They're
they
right
were
there.
over here.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest.
We're going to cut all the clothes off.
Plug in pads connector.
So it's talking
next
you
to
through it.
flashing
Yes,
light.
if they're swimming, obviously you don't have to cut the clothes off. Then I'm going to apply these pads, and you can see, Chelsea, these pads have diagrams. So you can
Apply
see.
pads.
So you know
Plug in
exactly where to
connector.
put it.
You don't have to memorize anything.
Okay, so no need to be afraid to grab the AED. Get it for everybody, regardless.
Yes. And then where it's flashing, I'm going to plug it in.
Do not touch the patient.
Okay, so is this
It's
after,
analyzing the heart rhythm.
This is after we've already tried CPR?
Shock
Yes.
advised.
Got it. Okay.
Charging.
So when it makes a loud
Stay
noise,
clear of patient.
I'm going to have you push it. I'm going to say, I'm clear,
Deliver
you're clear,
shock
we're all
now.
clear.
Press
Push the
the
shock
orange
button.
button now. Shock
And their body will
delivered.
kind of jolt up.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then will it restart
If
after
needed,
that? Or
begin
what do we?
CPR.
Well, then I got to check to see. He's still not breathing. So if he's not breathing, he needs CPR. So I'll do this for 2 minutes. And then the machine will come back on. It'll tell me, do not touch patient, reanalyze the patient, and it might shock him again. But you put this AED on everyone, infant, child, adult, pregnant women, anyone and everyone in cardiac arrest needs this placed on them because it's looking for a cardiac arrhythmia. And if it detects one, it will shock the person. So 90%, that's a 90% of teenagers and adults are going to need use of the AED in order to survive.
All right. We had a question from our producer. Can you use this machine if the person is still wet, or do you need to dry
That's such
them
a
off?
good question. Their back can be wet, their legs can be wet, their hair can be wet, their arms can be wet, just their chest can't be wet. That's why with every AED, there's always an absorbent towelette to dry their chest off.
All right.
So the ground can be wet, now it can't be raining.
Okay.
Can't do it in the rain, but just as long as you dry their chest off, yes, they can be wet. And you do put this on people who you pull out of the swimming pool.
Okay, Gail, how else can people get refresher courses from you and learn more?
Well, my website is www.cprandsafetylady.com. You can reach out to me that way. I'm on Instagram at the CPR and Safety Lady, Facebook at the CPR and Safety Lady, and it's just so important that everybody knows how to do this.
Yes. And if you have more questions from Gail,
Analyzing
be sure
heart
to
rhythm.
connect with her. You guys, we got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Come back to me.
We hope you guys have a safe and exciting summer after watching this show. Thank you, Gail, CPR and Safety Lady. Check her out. Thank you to Goldfish Swim School as well for coming in. You guys go to our YouTube rewatch, like, subscribe. It's Chattin' with Chelsea and Chelsea Show Fox and Chelsea Fox 26 on socials. Keep up with us there, and we'll see you on the next Chattin' with Chelsea.
Got the feeling.